You know this beef is real when Nicki's husband got on IG talking about how he was gonna knock Cardi's teeth out. You don't beef this long over some petty industry bullshit. This is personal. In a perfect world, they'd probably be great collaborators. I mean, they're the most popular and successful female rappers from the game, and they're both from New York City. If they were recording music together, they would probably top the charts with no problem. Instead, their whole relationship has been defined by beef, fights, petty drama, and a whole proxy war involving other rappers and their fans. The thing might as well have started off as an industry squabble, but has become a grudge match cluster that not only implicates Cardi and Nicki, but their husbands as well. I mean, Nicki's man's Kenneth Petty just lost his freedom over this. But really, the whole thing started with Bodak Yellow. Before that song, Cardi was probably better known for being on Love and Hip Hop. Bodak Yellow, meanwhile, was the single that took her to the stratosphere. Cardi had been grinding away in the rap game for a hot minute, but that track made her the first female rapper to top the Billboard Hot 100 since Lauryn Hill, way back in 1998. But while Cardi's success was an unprecedented win, it ended up making Nicki supremely jealous. The thing is, Nicki had been pursuing that very same goal of topping the Hot 100 with a solo track for years. And while she had plenty of awards and even a diamond-selling album to her name, Nicki still hadn't reached that one coveted sales peak. Then here comes Cardi B, pretty much out of nowhere, becoming one of the hottest rappers in the game overnight. The tension was already brewing, even though Nicki hadn't bothered to put out an album in 3 years. Later that same year, both of them would collaborate on the Migos song Motorsport, which ended up being the flashpoint that blew their beef wide open. There was widespread social media speculation that Nicki and Cardi were actually dissing each other in their verses. Then the news leaked of the behind-the-scenes drama on the set of the Motorsport video, where Cardi and Nicki wouldn't even shoot their scenes together. And then people found out the Migos had put Cardi on the song without consulting Nicki, plus Cardi's label had pushed Nicki to make changes to her verse. Nicki started to imply she was set up by the Migos to bring Cardi up at her expense. As Cardi geared up to release her debut album, Invasion of Privacy, she downplayed the speculation that she and Nicki were at war. Cardi blamed the internet for trying to stoke beef between the two of them and claimed that she had already spoken to Nicki in person. But let's be real, I don't think anyone was convinced these two didn't hate each other. There were too many shots taken and too many unanswered questions. All this sniping finally exploded into an infamous, full-fledged altercation at the New York Fashion Week that year. According to TMZ, Cardi approached Nicki's table at the Harper Bazaar party, reportedly because she wanted to call out Nicki for apparently making sneak comments about Cardi and Offset's infant daughter. But when Cardi ended up catching an elbow to the face, all hell broke loose. Cardi tried to fight Nicki and threw her shoe at her, while security intervened and dragged her away. Nicki later chimed in to say that she found the whole situation humiliating, denying that she talked about Cardi and Offset's kid, and went on to call out Cardi, quote, a disgusting pig.
Calling a dead child a monkey, but telling people somebody talked about your child that never talked about your child, so you can get some sympathy points.
FYI, she refers to black women as monkeys and roaches. Roaches! This woman is at the best stage in her career, and she's out here throwing bottles and throwing shoes? Who the is gonna give her an intervention? Get the out of here with this bull.
Since 2008, the Cardi-Nicki beef has pretty much been locked in Cold War mode. On September 12th, just a few weeks ago, Cardi and Nicki were in the same building for the VMAs, the first time they've been face-to-face since their infamous clash at the Fashion Week 5 years ago. Both Cardi and Nicki's crew apparently had a backstage run-in, and while details are still scarce, Cardi was apparently threatened, leading to her to take to Twitter where she claimed she didn't even flinch. That could have been all that happened, but Nicki's husband decided to take into his own hands. The next weekend, Kenneth Zoo Petty posted a video of him roaming around New York with his crew, calling out for Offset.
He off the set. That whole gang can suck a he off the set. Let's put you off the set.
During the live stream, he also seemed to threaten Cardi, claiming that he'd knock her veneers out. That's kind of wild, bro. You're kind of bugging for that. Reports claim that Offset and Cardi were staying at a hotel in the same neighborhood that Petty was in. The next day, Offset responded, pretty much laughing off Petty's threats and claiming that he was just getting off a jet while Petty was wandering around broke. Problem is, Kenneth Petty still happens to be a convicted sex offender on probation. When the court learned about Zoo's live stream antics, they decided to go scorched earth on him. The judge sentenced Kenneth Petty to 100 days of home detention, determining that he had violated his probation by threatening Offset on social media. But hear me me out. If you're 45 years old trying to beef publicly on IG, then you probably qualify as snitching on yourself. Nicki seems to be acting unbothered otherwise. She shared snippets from her upcoming album where she talks openly about her husband's G status. But with her album Pink Friday 2 just weeks away, her first project in 5 years, I wouldn't be surprised if the beef were to heat back up to 2018 levels, maybe beyond. While Nicki and Cardi might be arch enemies, the careers have been kinda attached at the hip. Both of them are waiting to see what the other person is gonna do. While beef might be good for business and numbers, Cardi and Nicki's feud is intensely personal, which leads to the only real question: what's gonna happen next?